Welcome back to the Black Carnivore Podcast. I'm Ade, and I'm really excited to bring today's guest, Chuck. Now, this interview is a little bit different because normally, I focus on people who have been following the carnivore way of life a bit longer and, have been working on a lot of different health issues. But I think that this one is going to be particularly interesting to the newbies because Chuck has been doing the carnivore diet for 6 weeks, but he has reversed high blood pressure, which he's been on medication for 10 years. And he, in 6 weeks' time, has been able to bring his blood pressure down to normal, off of medication, feeling great, losing weight, all of the things that happen with the carnivore diet. So I want you to know that it doesn't take forever to see success on the carnivore diet. For a lot of illnesses, this stuff turns around so fast. So it is really, really worth giving the carnivore diet a try. So I want to, dive in now to the interview. I do want to apologize. This was, I think, the first interview or the second interview I did after moving. So I still hadn't figured out the internet. The internet was real choppy on this. And I also, this was probably the worst day of my COVID. So even though I thought that I was doing okay, I really wasn't. So I am sorry for that. But I think you'll enjoy the interview anyway. So let's dive right into it. Okay, welcome Black Carnivores. Welcome back to the Black Carnivore Podcast. I am excited to bring today's guest, Chuck. He is new to the carnivore lifestyle. He's been doing this about a month and a half, but has already seen an incredible amount of progress and just has been able to find a way that is sustainable with this way of eating. There's a lot of things that we can do to lose weight, to get healthier, but they're not necessarily things that you can do for a lifetime. But carnivore is one of those things that you can just stick with and feel great, enjoy every meal, and and look forward to like a lifetime of health. So let's dive into it. Let's hear from Chuck about his experience. Chuck, tell us about yourself.
So I was born and raised in Mississippi. I grew up on the standard American diet or the standard Southern American diet.
Oh,
Um,
wait, I hate to
and
interrupt, but isn't Mississippi listed as one of the fattest states of the United States? Is
yes,
it Mississippi or
yes,
Alabama or both?
both actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
they're worse than everything. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I grew up on that type of diet. Um, and I've struggled with my weight for a while because I never knew actually how to eat. I've never known the proper way of dieting, so I tried different things. Back in 2004, I actually discovered the Atkins diet. And then I had heard so much negative things about the Atkins diet, but I saw so much benefit from it. And so I discontinued the diet. I lost weight. I was looking great, and then I heard all this: your blood pressure is gonna go up. You're gonna have heart disease and all that. So I stopped keto. I mean the Atkins diet. Um, um, Fast forward to now, I blew up. My weight just blew up eating the standard American diet. I could never control myself.
Hmm.
I gained weight and could never
What did
lose it
that
the way I
diet
wanted
look
to.
like? What did that diet look like? I mean, did you have a lot of fast food? Did you try cooking at home or what did it?
Well, I mostly cooked at home, but it was always fatty stuff. I was a single dad, so I raised my son, and I only bought like hamburger helper or pastas and stuff like that that I thought was how we were supposed to eat, just eat in moderation. I was in this mindset of being calorie deficient and low fat was the way to eat. And so I didn't know about nutrition. So, like I said, fast forward to like 2020, I decided I was going to go vegan. I saw all the health benefits. I watched videos just like I'm doing now. And I watched videos, and then the immediate effect of me going vegan was I felt better, I guess, because it was a sudden change in my diet. but then the weight still wouldn't come off. And I lost muscle mass and I lost all of that. Um, I was eating a lot of starches and I was eating a lot of grains because you're not eating meat now. So everything else you're gonna eat more of. And then I went on vacation this March, and me and my partner, I saw photos of myself, and I was like, "No, I have to do something." So from that point on, when I got on the plane to leave on vacation, I downloaded this book by Stephen R. Gundry called The Keto Code, and I started reading that. And then I came home and I just started pulling up YouTube videos and watching them. I came across Thomas DeLar. I don't know if you know who that is.
Hmm.
And I started watching a lot of his videos, which led me to Dr. Ken Berry.
Hmm.
And then I started um, listening to Dr. Ken Berry about the carnivore diet. And I said, I want to try that. And because he's so matter of fact, he just lets you know, hey, this is how it is and that's how it goes. So I started it and I started to see benefits. I just started to see my weight started to come off. I started to feel better, more muscle mass, losing a lot of fat. And that's how I actually came across you because I think you did an interview with Dr. Ken Berry. He's so blunt with I like his delivery on how you should do the diet. And it's so easy. And watching him, I decided to go ahead and do the carnivore diet. Um, um, and I also came across your video as well
Yeah.
with him. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try this. And immediately when I started to try it, I just started to see so much benefit from it. I'm satiated most of the day. I'm doing intermittent fasting now as well. Um, and just eating meat keeps me full. It keeps me, mental clarity is there, is everything. It's helping me out a lot.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. So, so let's go back to you said before that you were vegan for how long?
A year and a half, actually.
That's a long time.
It is.
And
It
how did you do it? I mean, because a lot of times vegans will say, "Oh, well, you didn't do it right." So, how did you learn to do it? Were you doing it right? Like,
well, I mean, I cut out everything, and it was kind of hard for me because my partner is not vegan. So I just went cold turkey. I took all the meat out of the house. I started buying like potatoes and a lot of vegetables. I would get up in the morning, make like just vegetables and anything that didn't have any meat. Cut out dairy. I did all of that. And the thing is that I have eczema. It's not that bad, but I have eczema. And I was kept hearing from the vegan community how getting a vegan diet was going to decrease having flare ups. And so I was like, okay, well, it's not working, and I'm doing everything that you say to do. I started following and watching like I think I watched the documentary on Netflix. Um, God, I can't remember the name. It's a popular one, and I saw how veganism would improve your health so much, and but it didn't. It just didn't for me. It didn't. I grew up eating meat, and it was a big change, especially coming home to Mississippi trying to be vegan. It was like far fetched, but it didn't help me out. I still gained weight. I lost a lot of muscle, and so I said I had to try something different, you know. And lo and behold, I stumbled upon the carnivore diet, and it's been great for me.
so I wonder though, like, how did you learn how to do vegan? Do you feel like you did it right, or was there something that you should have done differently or better? I mean, I kind of feel like a diet, like, there's some things to learn, but if it's like super complicated, like that can't, that's not really sustainable.
Yeah. Well, outside of, I mean, I think you will probably see more benefits if you went raw vegan. I couldn't do that. You know, I I just learned by just cutting out the things that they told me that I could that I didn't need to eat. Like, butter, anything that has milk in it, or I wouldn't even I stopped eating honey. I stopped eating honey, I stopped eating everything. But I increased the starches, potato chips, and all the things that I'm not grits, all those things that I ate, which kept the weight on me. So it's like, if cutting out meat was that beneficial, I would see more. I didn't see anything being vegan. I didn't. And so that prompted me to stop.
So during that time, you said your partner wasn't vegan, and were your friends? I mean, did everyone think you were crazy or
Yeah.
like, okay. But
Yeah.
you you
They thought I
you
was
you kept
crazy.
going. You soldiered on through. You said, "I'm gonna do this. I don't care what you're saying. I'm gonna do it."
Yeah, my friends hated to go out to dinner with me or go anywhere with me because we always had to find vegan options. It's not that bad because I'm in Long Beach, California, but you know, everybody had to do a menu check before went out with me to see if I was going to eat it. So that was kind of inconvenient for everyone. So now with this diet, I can go anywhere and pretty much eat
Yeah, that's one of the nice things. Like it is.
without. So
Yeah, that's one of the nice things. It is, it's pretty portable, it goes everywhere. So tell me, what does
yeah.
your diet look like today? Like what do you eat now versus what you ate before, on the standard American diet?
So I get up in the morning. If I'm going to eat, if I'm not fasting, I'll eat maybe 4 eggs. Um, and maybe if I cook a lot of steak, I subscribe to Butcher Box, so I'm getting a lot of grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and so I mean, all the way up until maybe dinner time. I would eat in the morning, and I probably want around maybe 7, and I won't eat again till like 6 or something that evening. And then I'm cooking steak. I try not to eat a lot of chicken, but I do eat chicken. Um, if I eat chicken, I'm eating thighs, but mostly I'm cooking ribeyes. I ribeyed my partner to death. I know he's crazy. He thinks I'm crazy, but yeah, I'm grilling steaks all the time. Brandon, pretty much that's it. Um, and like I said, the health benefits from it has been great. And bacon, bacon. I love bacon.
Yeah.
I cook a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
bacon.
So I love that you are indulging yourself in ribeyes. They're a little too expensive for me, so I stick with like, the chuck roast. And right now I'm loving ground pork and like making my meatballs with ground pork. But I do lots of things. But yeah.
Mhm.
So that sounds delicious. So you're doing like 2 meals a day. Can you tell me more about fasting? Like how did you get into it? Was that a concerted effort, or it's just like, I'm not hungry, so I'm just gonna not eat until I'm hungry again?
Well, I watched Thomas DeLauer, and he's an advocate for intermittent fasting. So I watched him, and he gives all the benefits of intermittent fasting. It was hard for me at first. It was hard. I'm like, man, how the hell am I going to make it through the day without eating? And so once I start eating like this, and I felt so full and satiated, it got much easier, much easier.
Wait, why was it hard at first? Was it just like mentally, like, oh my God, I'm not gonna eat for 12 hours? Or was it that you were hungry?
It was a mental thing for me. I'm like, because I mentally ate. I was like, maybe it's time for me to eat something. That's how I always operated. Even when you're not hungry, you feel like, okay, I haven't eaten anything in maybe 3 hours. Maybe it's time for me to eat something. And that's how my mindset was. And to say that, hey, I'm not going to eat for a period of 12 to 16 hours now, it was kind of far fetched for me. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then I listened to Dr. Ken Berry. He said, eat as much meat as you want, eat until you're comfortably full. And then when I started to eat until I was comfortably full, then I didn't feel a need to eat every 3 hours or anything like that. And then that's how the intermittent fasting started to gradually come. So I can do a 16-hour fast day just easily now.
So for you, it was pretty natural. You let it just happen.
Yeah,
It wasn't like you set your timer and was like, okay, but you just kind of, let got into it and let yourself
yeah,
be guided by your appetite.
yes, yes,
Excellent, excellent. So now,
yeah.
tell us like what kind of benefits are you seeing? Health
So
benefits, yeah.
my clothing, I'm very vain. So I like to look at myself in the mirror. So um, my clothing is fitting much better. The muscle, I'm getting more muscle mass in my chest. I'm doing more push-ups every day. I'm gradually building myself up to running. I mean, my energy is just like off the chain now since I've started this diet. And people think I'm crazy. The one thing that happened, I went to the doctor. I had my labs.
Hmm.
Um, my A1C went down, um, but my LDL was raised, my triglycerides were low, and my HDL was high. And immediately, my doctor put me on a cholesterol pill. Never called me, never said anything to me.
Wow.
My ketones were raised. Never called me and said anything. Hey, your LDL is high. You need to go on a statin drug. And I got really mad about that. I got mad because I'm like, I'm listening to new studies every day about the benefits of a carnivore diet or a keto diet. And the doctors are just not getting with the program. They're not getting with the program now. And I'm like, I'm seeing so many health benefits versus the last time you saw me and you put me on a cholesterol pill without asking
Hmm.
me. And I was kind of mad about that. But I called my doctor and I told her what I was doing. She said maybe I need to throw more vegetables in there. I didn't listen, but she told me I need to throw more vegetables in there. And she's gonna follow up with me in another month or so. So
Hmm.
I'm interested to see where my numbers are going to be then. Um, with continuing the carnivore diet and see what she's going to say because the health benefits that I'm gaining from it, it's there, it's tangible, so you can see it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to stop it now.
So it's unlikely that you'll see the LDL come down. Like that's just a feature of doing a ketogenic diet, of which a carnivore diet is,
Yeah,
sort of a more restrictive than a regular ketogenic diet. But I do have, clients that are concerned about it and ultimately decide that they want to they don't want to continue with it because they're concerned about the cholesterol. And it's frustrating because there are so many other problems that are resolved by eating this way. And there's
exactly.
so much research that would suggest, the cholesterol number as a total doesn't give you information about what's happening in your body, and that if that really is a concern, you can go back and you can get more advanced testing to look at the particle size of your cholesterol. You can get that CAC test where you're actually looking at calcium in your arteries, and you can decide whether there is actual need for concern. But there's a lot of things to do before you just jump to, quitting the diet.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to stop. I mean, I'm very
Hmm.
hard-headed, and if I'm seeing benefit from it, that's not something that I'm willing to do is mortgage my health for anybody. I'm seeing the what I wanted to see when I was being vegan, and
Hmm.
all I've seen is great things from being a carnivore. So I'm not gonna stop. So
Yeah.
every day since I came back from vacation, I just started indoctrinating myself with videos,
Mhm.
your videos, and um, I was listening. I did come up on Sean Baker, but after you said what you said, I blocked everything on there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
listen to him again. But you know, that's all I've been doing every day, and I just feel like that if more people like yourself come out and they talk to them and educate people, they'll learn about this diet and they'll see the many, many, many benefits of it.
hmm Yeah, I mean, and you are definitely part of that effort, telling your story and just describing your experience because I think that is ultimately what is going to be convincing to other people. I feel like, for most people they're not really convinced as much by the science and the studies, but really about like real life people who've had success and have what they want, and that's what helps keep us motivated and helps keep us moving forward. So that's awesome. Now, so I have a bunch of questions. So, in
Sure.
terms of your other health problems, you mentioned already eczema. Was there anything else that you were hoping to see change on, or that you did see change and you didn't even expect to see change on?
Yeah, I've been on blood pressure medicine for since I was 35. I'm 45 now. So I've been
Wow,
uh
you first of all, you look great. I would never have thought you were 45. So
yeah.
congratulations. Nice.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I've been on blood pressure medicine. So immediately when I started the carnivore diet, I went out and going to be because I'm eating all this meat. I'm like, my blood pressure's gonna go out of the roof. I'm like all this fatty meat and bacon and eggs. And I'm like, man, my blood pressure's gonna be out the roof. My blood pressure went down. I was like my last check, it was 123 over 85. And I always hovered around 140 over 95. And that's where I used to hover around. But my blood pressure is coming down. So like another benefit. So
That's
yeah.
fantastic. And are you also using salt or,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. I use Himalayan pink salt on everything. Everything. So
so are you using more salt than you used to? Like, when you were vegan, did you also try to do low salt for the blood pressure?
I did. I tried to decrease salt a lot. I started buying a lot of seasonings with no salt, like Mrs. Dash and all of that. I was using that because I'm like, okay, my blood pressure. I still have to look out for that. I started juicing when I was vegan. I was juicing vegetables. Went out and bought all these expensive juicers and all of that. Nothing. It just like nothing happened. I was the advocate for vegan. Hey, I'm vegan. I was like all high and mighty, sedity. I'm vegan. You're not. And, and I advocated for it. Now I'm having to go back on like my Instagram and Facebook and tell people, well, I'm not vegan anymore. I'm a full carnivore. And people are welcoming me back to the meat eating side. Yeah.
Oh, they're not mad at you that you made them eat all this
No.
horrible stuff, dragged them to these restaurants and made them eat like vegan stuff.
Yeah.
All
So
right, so your blood pressure got better,
mhm.
and how about your skin? What's going on with that? Because
And my
I have
skin,
eczema too, so that is always of interest to me.
well, I haven't had a breakout, and I've only been doing it a month and a half, but I have not had any flare-ups lately. I'm still monitoring myself to see if anything is going to happen, but I have not had any flare-ups at all since I started doing the diet. So, keeping my fingers crossed. I'm in a different climate change now, coming to Mississippi, so I'm kind of scared about that. But as of now, I'm not seeing any kind of flare ups. So,
Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'm glad to hear it.
Maybe.
So, any other changes that you notice? Because I have to say that in the beginning of carnivore, like there are definitely some specific things that people are looking to see change, but there are also like lots of things that um, people aren't expecting and end up changing for them. So, how has your mood been? Your energy levels, the way you interact with other people, stuff like that.
Energy level, like I said, it's been great. It's been great. I've been getting up every morning. I have to do some type of exercise, like get up. Now my partner is naturally thin, so he doesn't do anything. He still eats the standard American diet and never gains weight. I hate him. So but me, I'm getting up every morning. He's seeing the change in me. He's seeing the change in my mood because I'm getting up and going out running, going out to the beach. I'm bike riding. I have my little push-up bars by the bed, so I'm doing push-ups every night before I go to bed. Yeah, that's been and work-wise, better mood, just better mood overall. You know, when you feel better, you want to do better, and it's just like showcasing in everything I do every day.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. So, just better mood and like, I don't know, how do you deal with stress? Do you feel like you're more resilient than you used to be, or?
Uh, I don't actually have a lot of stress that I can say that I've had in the last that I have to deal with in the last couple of months. So not that not that I have a worry-free life, but yeah, I haven't had a lot of stress that I have to deal with. So it's stressful for me. Maybe I'll look at it in a different light now, but right now I'm not having that much stress. Well, I have a 25-year-old son, so that's stressful.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure that's always stressful. But you
yeah.
just told me that, you got yourself together to travel back home to Mississippi. Like, just like traveling, getting your stuff together, did you fly or drive? Like getting, everything together, like that itself was enough, like for me to be like, oh my God, I've got to have a cookie to, reward myself. Or even,
No.
I haven't flown in a while, but like, that was such a thing for me, like, because I'd be late for my plane and I'm rushing and trying to get through security and all this stuff. So when I finally would get through security and have my pants back on and my belt, buckled and like be on my way to my, my gate, and I look at my watch and it's like, okay, all the rush is finally done. And then I have this overwhelming urge to get a brownie or chocolate or something. And I,
Mhm.
realized that that came from like just years of like dealing with the stress of traveling by eating these things. And so now as a carnivore, like I, don't get
Yeah.
hit with those cravings all that much. But then sometimes like in these moments where it's like I'm like, oh, I'm just, I'm remembering what used to be.
So ironically, you say that. Yesterday, my flight got delayed for 4 hours, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm
That's a
hungry.
major
So what I'm gonna
stress. What are
do?"
you talking about? That's a
Yeah,
major stress.
delay. But it didn't bother me. I was like, okay. It was delayed for 4 hours. So I got, I'm like, I'm hungry. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I watched your video where you went to McDonald's and you got patties. And I was like, okay, there's a Wendy's right there. So I went to Wendy's in the airport, and they looked at me like I was crazy. First of all, I said I just want meat and bacon. That's all I want, meat and bacon. And I sat there, I ate my meat and bacon, and I was it didn't, I was fine. I was fine.
I love
Normally I
that.
would have gone. Normally I would have gone to the shop and give me whatever high sugar, high fat brownie, whatever you got up in there, just give it to me. But no, yesterday I went to Wendy's and ate my meat and I was content. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's exactly what you want to be doing. But this is what I'm
Hmm.
talking about, like 4-hour delay, being hungry, not feeling like
Hmm.
you've got control over your food. Those are the types of stressors that, derail like the best of us. So you
Hmm.
were able to, just kind of like shrug it off, and then said, okay, well, if my plan A isn't working and plan B isn't working, what is plan C? And you found a plan C that worked just fine. And yeah, so
Like
that
I'm
that
so
seems like
determined.
being
I
that seems like you're doing well with
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah, I'm so determined, and like I said, I stopped watching television. I'm a big, huge television fan. I stopped watching television, and I focus on videos like yours and Ken Berry. That's all I've been watching. Even on the plane, I downloaded Paul. I've been listening to his stuff. I don't know what your experience is with him, but I've been listening to his um audiobook. So I've been, I just keep myself in the game. If I keep myself in the game, then I know that I'm going to be successful with it. So
Yeah, you're talking about Paul Saladino?
yes, Paul
Yeah.
Saladino. Yeah,
Yeah. So I would discourage you from trying the honey and the fruit. Just
I'm
stick
not going to
to
do that.
yeah, stick to
Yeah, I
straight
saw that.
carnivore.
Yeah,
So aside from that, yeah, it's fine. And
and the raw meat. I can't do the raw meat. Yeah, I
yeah,
can't. Yeah, yeah, I can't do
yeah.
it. So,
I think it's fine if you want to do raw meat, but you don't have to. I have certainly made steak tartare, and it's good. I mean, I thought I was going to be grossed out by it, but raw meat, muscle meat anyway. I did not eat raw organs, but raw muscle meat is actually very mild. I feel like it's less flavorful than
okay,
cooked meat. Um, so, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It was quite tasty. It's just different. And then
okay.
I have eaten raw liver. I actually find it much more tolerable to eat liver raw than to eat it cooked. It's flavor. Yeah, see that face that you make?
Really? Oh
Yeah. The way that it tastes cooked,
God.
that's the face that I have. But raw, it is very minerally, but it doesn't have, it's just not as, the taste is not as bad. But that being said, you don't have to eat raw anything ever. Like, it's not a requirement. It doesn't, you can get just as healthy and get just as many benefits from this way of eating cooked meat all the time. And for all of those people, like, I don't know, if somebody sent me like a vegan meme or a post on Instagram where the guy was like, if we were designed to eat meat, we'd have claws, and we would eat raw meat, and like, we wouldn't need, pans and ovens and stuff like that. And I'm like, does this guy, is he familiar with the concept of fire? Like, humans have been cooking meat for a very long time. As long as we have had controlled fire, and even with uncontrolled fire, probably we did eat some cooked
Yeah.
leftovers that were left on the ground. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like cooking meat is fine. I mean, we certainly are evolved to consume cooked meat as well as raw meat. So, but raw meat comes with some, um, concerns. So
Yeah.
always, get your meat safe, and you're gonna have to decide whether it's safe enough, sterile enough, all that kind of stuff.
So what
So,
types of fish do you eat?
so
I'm still
none,
trying to. You don't eat
none.
any fish. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I would. It's just so expensive, It's just
Yeah.
not outside of my budget. Like, I love, Chilean sea bass or any kind of bass. I think is tasty. I like cod. I love sea scallops. I love lobster and crab. Um, let's see. Well, salmon is good. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's good. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's all good, but it's just expensive and just not something I do very often. That being said, I went fishing last week and I did catch a catfish. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start eating
Oh,
catfish. I don't
okay.
know.
I love catfish.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
love catfish.
Did you
Yeah,
catch any of
love
your
it.
own? Do you catch
Never
any of
caught
your
any of my
own?
own. I've always gone fishing. No, no. I mean, I'm in California, so you're not gonna find a lot of catfish ponds up there. Here in Mississippi, I would probably be, this would be the place where I would go to get catfish, but not in California. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You can't even find that much catfish in California.
Well, even as a boy, did you fish or?
Yeah, my grandmother used to take us, me and my cousins, out to fish, and my granddad took us out on the Mississippi. My hometown is right off the Mississippi River, so we used to go out into the old Mississippi River, and we would fish, and yeah, go fishing and hunting. Yeah, and
Oh,
I grew
wow.
up eating
So
all
you
types of
have
meat.
those
Like
skills.
I was, I mean, they probably waned a little bit over years, but um, but I was definitely a part of that culture. Hunting and eating like chitlins, and we ate squirrel, and we ate raccoon. We ate all of that type of stuff. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but that's what I grew up eating.
I am not, but I do have a friend who is a hunter and fisherman, and his favorite meat is squirrel. So his absolute favorite
Squirrel is
dish is
good.
squirrel. So I'll have to try it. I don't know. But I was thinking, like, I've seen
Squirrel is
New
good,
York
and raccoon,
squirrels.
and
I'll have,
raccoon.
have to try that. I've seen New York squirrels like eating, Twizzlers and pretzels and, day old pizza. So it's kind of hard for me to imagine wanting to eat squirrel, but more natural squirrels perhaps. So
Yeah.
what's next? How long do you, so you've been doing this a while now, a month and a half. Do you think that you're gonna continue on?
Mhm.
Like, do you feel confident you can?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I think I'm gonna cycle in and out from doing keto and carnivore. Right now, I'm continuing with the carnivore diet. I'm not gonna deviate from what I'm doing right now until I get to my goal weight. I'm not at my goal weight, and I still have a while to go. So, and then I'll start doing keto. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to just eating a standard American diet again because I know too much now. I've educated myself. When you learn better, you do better. And so I'm like, um, I'm going to continue this as long as I can. Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely hard to go back completely, once you learn
Yeah.
about this. But switching back and forth between keto and carnivore can be fine. I think that it's pretty seamless to move back and forth, and I definitely have people who, they do keto most of the year, but they'll do a carnivore cleanse for 30 days after the holidays or a period when they've been like particularly sloppy with their diet or something like that. So it's very common for people to kind of do keto most of the time, but then do periodic bouts of carnivore. Yeah. So
So let me ask you, do you
mhm,
have any cheat
go ahead.
days? Like, do you have any cheat days?
I do not anymore. I used
Okay.
to. Like the first year and a half, I would say, I would do good for like a month and then I would fall off and then, it might take me a while to get back fully into it, like I might like go out and then order some wings and then have a fry, somebody else or a bite of this, and then next thing I know, I'm ordering this and having this, and you know how it goes. So, but nowadays, like, I don't like how long it takes for me to feel good again, and like on carnivore, you
Yeah,
really feel good. And so I don't like not feeling
yeah.
good. Um, so yeah, I don't do it anymore.
Before I left, my partner and I went out to dinner. And like I told you, he eats everything. And so he orders this chocolate cake and he's like, chocolate cake, waving it in my face, chocolate cake, chocolate cake. So I took maybe 2 teaspoons because he wore me down. Two. I felt so guilty. Now I know it's this whole thing of this um carb fear. I guess that's what I have now. That anytime I eat carbs, it's just going to reverse everything that I've already done. And I know you just have to take those days in strides. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. The best thing to do is remember your why and get back on your goals. And that's what I did. I took it, I ate the cutlet, I felt guilty for a minute, and then I got right back on it. So I just want to tell people it's okay. You're going to have those days where you're going to be enticed by your friends to eat. you know don't beat yourself up, just get right back on it, and that's what I've been doing. So,
I love it. Yes, your friends sometimes can be your biggest supporters or, your
yeah,
biggest anchors. And sometimes they'll do stuff like that. But I do think that, when you have
mm,
good friends and, people who really care about you, they see the changes long before you do. And
mm,
the changes aren't just in like your physical body and losing weight, but like as you said, your ability to handle stress and your ability to just deal with life. Well, your partner notices that too, that other people, the people around you notice
yeah,
like you're not yelling as much. You're more willing to like just be easygoing. You're more fun to be around. And so, in time, other people want you to stick to this way of eating too because they like you better. So,
yeah,
early on, and, and in a month and a half, it's hard because, like, so many people have seen us go through so many different diets and they're just like, oh, another one. Now, this means I can't
yeah,
eat the chocolate I want.
exactly.
But, in time,
Yeah.
they'll see, yeah. But in time, they'll see like there are some really big benefits and they will come around to support you.
Yeah, yeah.
So, has your partner said anything yet, or was it just that cake incident?
I mean, he's for the most part, he's a big supporter. He's a huge supporter of me. It's just that, he and I, we like to go out and eat. We like to go out and have drinks, and we do those things. And sometimes he just wants me to let loose and have fun because he knows I'm so strict on what I'm doing. So he said, just let loose, just have fun, just for today. And then that's why, I would go ahead and give in, and then just get right back on it. It's like I said, it's important to know the reason why you're doing something. And with me knowing the reason why I'm doing something, then that shows in me, and that kind of motivates him too, and the support is there, you know. So
Well, how are you handling alcohol?
so I do drink. I'm not gonna lie. I drink. And I know that it stalls you. So I don't drink anything that has carbs. I would drink a little alcohol, maybe with soda water and lime, or a dirty martini. I don't drink anything that I think is gonna give me carbs. But I try to minimize it, only drinking on maybe Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, having 2 or 3 drinks, then versus me and my partner used to drink maybe starting from Wednesday to the end of the weekend. So so I try to limit it, and I don't I did my research because I looked that up too. I look up videos about alcohol, and they'd say, yeah, it's not necessarily going to kick you out of ketosis, but what it's going to do is stall your progress. and so and it will kick you out if you're drinking a lot of sugary drinks. So I learned about that, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna drink sugar drinks. I'm gonna drink this because I like to have a good time. I'm like, wow, I like that. So, but I limit myself now as much as possible.
And do you find that your tolerance level has changed, or are you still
Yes,
drinking the same? Okay, so you can
it
still
only
drink 2
takes
or 3
one, and
drinks.
I'm immediately full. I can drink two before I'm already like feeling like sky high. I'm like, my tolerance level's going down. And I used to have a very, very high tolerance level because I used to drink a lot. But now it's like I have one or two drinks. I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm done. So,
Excellent. So you found like a happy medium. You found like a spot that you can have a few drinks. I feel like, guys are kind of lucky in this area because it seems like you can have 1 or 2 drinks a week and still lose weight. Whereas I feel like with women, like you can't have any and still lose weight. But I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
But you can kick back and have, a fancy scotch and, a delicious ribeye and a cigar
yeah,
after dinner and, all manly things and, and still reap all the benefits.
yeah.
So good for you.
The other night, my partner he had this little. He ordered pad thai and he had rice with cashew chicken and all of that. And I made these two big, huge ribeyes, and I'm just sitting back in the chair, just eating my ribeye. He's like, "You are crazy." He thinks I'm crazy because I'm just eating nothing but meat.
Well, and
So,
fat, which is a very important thing. You're eating meat and fat, which I know when vegetarians look
yeah,
at us, they're like, "Oh, you're eating nothing but meat." And it's actually like, no, there's a lot of variety in meat, and all of it is important. And you're actually
yeah,
eating just a lot of starch, which is, and carbohydrate, which is not really,
yeah.
very helpful. So excellent.
It's not good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I would love regroup with you in like 6 months or a year, or you let me know like when you next hit
Yeah,
your
most definitely.
your next major milestone because I want to hear about your progress. It sounds like this is working so fantastic for you. It just seems like you're just gonna kind of breeze through and lose 100 pounds, no problem. It's gonna be easy.
I hope so. I don't know about 100. I won't be too big. I still want to have some type of, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
but I'm
I
going to
it
continue on. I'm going to continue to watch your videos, can continue to be inspired by you and all the other people in this space. I'm glad. Thank you again for allowing Black carnivores to come forward and talk. You know, giving us a space to talk because I wasn't seeing a whole lot of people in that community that look like us, and so I really appreciate that.
Thank you, and absolutely, I am here for us, and I love that. There are other people that are starting to do the same. I want to give a shout out to Carnivore Latina on Instagram. She has a carnivore channel in Spanish, and so I
Oh
hope that
wow.
more, yeah, yeah. So I hope that more and more people, start to come forward and to tell their story because I think, we got to have a variety of voices out there. And I'm really glad that you came on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So where can people find you if they have questions and they want to connect?
Usually on Instagram, my handle is audacious_baits. So they can find me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to answer any questions and let people see my journey as well.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'll put links to that below in the description, and so everybody go and reach out to him, and and find you also in the Facebook group, and yeah. So, all right, thanks a lot, everybody,
Yeah,
for tuning in, and thank you, Chuck, for sharing your story, and I'll see you all next week.
thank you.